Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, early this Tuesday morning. Have you realized that over the past several years, every morning you get up, if you want to watch television or if you want to watch social media, all you hear about are the troubles of the world? It seems as if there has been nothing but problems all over the world, but in America especially. For the past 3 years, going on 4 years, we've had nothing but problems, nothing but stuff that we have always experienced, but never to this magnitude. The realization that hate is really hasn't gone down not 1 inch. Racism is still here, even stronger than ever. Uh, Bigotry, the same way, and the people's lack of compassion for one another, the pain and suffering that comes from these kinds of things is the worst we've ever had since a long time. I ain't gonna say I say a long time. And I'm saying this, and I can't understand. It's like we are like you. No, I don't say me. You guys are like little children. You know those children that sometimes you have to just sit there and when you want to give them some instructions, you just have to sit and talk to them over and over and repeat to them over and over, trying to help them understand a little simple things that other people can pick up just like that. But it seems to be so difficult for these people to understand. And so that's the way I see the American public, but not just the American public. I see the world's people at large. They need someone to sit them down on a stool, put a left hand on their their right shoulder, and their right hand on the other person's left shoulder, and sit them down and look them straight in the eye. Not just Americans, but people all over the world, and say to them, my friends, my sisters, and my brothers, you are living on an earth that wasn't made by man. No, it wasn't made by man. I don't care how much money he thought he had, what color he was, if he was gay, straight, or what. It didn't make this earth. And all of the resources that this earth provides belongs to the one that made it. The oil, the zinc, the resources wherever they are on the earth, in the earth, above the earth, seen or unseen, belong to the one that made them, and man didn't make them. Man on the earth, man didn't make man. He's a tool that's used to provide the the duplications of men, but man didn't make man. And so everything that exists belongs to the one that made it. And when we start talking about that which is comfortable for every last one of it, it's the same basic thing. And the opposite is what would take away from that. One would lead to a happy life, one would lead to a life that's not so happy. But we have to deal with these kinds of things every day, ladies and gentlemen. How do we deal with them? We find people explaining all kinds of ways of dealing with things. I got a way, you got a way, my way works for me, your way works for you. But none of these ways work for all of us. And so we should keep seeking how in it can we find how every way that you know of will work for you, but none will work for everybody. That's because it's your way. If you want a way that's going to work for everybody, you got to go to the source where everybody came from. Can you hear that? Your idea of what's going to work has never worked, and it never will work. The only idea that will work is where the idea came from. Now, there are two ideas that can work. You can have your choice. If you choose the way that leads to peace, prosperity, freedom, and joy, and all those things you say you want, and all those things that present good stuff, there's a way to do that. There are principles that you must follow. If you don't want that, then just ignore that, and you will get its opposite, no doubt about it. And I call it like this: heavenliness or hellishness. And all of it comes from the hands and of the people that they are usually moving by the strength of the mind or the like thereof. But I don't just want to say these things to you, ladies and gentlemen, without giving you some explanation for what I'm saying. I'm saying these things because all things have been made to be perfect or not. It is in this state and in this country and in this world or not. So let's talk about made to be perfect. How do you make this society work? To the people of the world, listen up. You've just heard I said everything belongs to God. No ifs, no ands, no doubt about that. That is an absolute reality. And everybody on this planet desires something from this planet in order to be successful and claim a real life that's worth living. And until we as a people can do that, we are obligated, one, not just to ourselves, but to one another. But how do you know that when you haven't been taught that? Well, listen up. Let me tell you how the master plan works. This is the master plan. All people all over the world, listen up. Every human being on the face of the earth that is qualified to work, works. Now, what do I mean by qualified? Old enough, got the skills. That's basically it. Because you got the need. You old enough. You got the need. And you're healthy. Let me throw healthy in there too. Now, the thing that makes this so unique, ladies and gentlemen, than anything that you've ever heard of before, is that the opportunity is open for you to have only the job that you love. You know, people say, well, how you gonna get somebody to work? They just sit at home and do nothing if you take the money out. No. I have never known children to go out and play for money. They go out to play to have fun. Children go out to play to have fun, not for money. And when adults have the opportunity to have the jobs of their choice, the careers of their choice, they go to the playground. We call it a playground. We don't call it work. Let's just change the word to career. They go to their career positions to play. They are like children who go to their career positions to play. And what do they do when they play? They create, my friends. They create food and clothing and shelter and education and health care and infrastructure and means of doing all kind of expressive ways of the imaginations that pops up out of people's minds all the time. And you know what they do in doing this? There is nothing missing as far as being required for survival: food, clothing, shelter, education, health care. And because of these things not missing and all of the joy from your careers, you have peace. You live in peace. You are prosperous. And then you can be free. You got the joy of life and your dreams come true. This is Russians and Africans and Europeans and Asians and you name it, everywhere people are doing these things. So I say this to you, ladies and gentlemen of the world. This has been provided. The money scheme is part of the scam. You've heard of the Ponzi schemes. You've heard of the pyramid things. It's all a scam. It's a scam to make someone go to the top while everybody else is on the bottom, lifting them up to the top while you just thinking you're going to get there and never get there. Money. Live for the joy of life, doing what you were created to do, never suffering food for the lack thereof, or clothing and shelter, or education and health care, and transportation and freedom to travel, vacations all over the world. Oh man, my friends, and it doesn't cost you a penny. All you gotta do is keep on loving your job and keep on doing what you do, and you'll never be absent anything. And that is the blessings of those who care about the good things of life. And it is required that the people do this. Don't worry about no leadership. It requires that everybody stands up on this, because everybody's obligated to God. You're not obligated to the police department. Police department down there is to make sure that you are controlled to follow a particular system that has nothing to do with God. You think American police force is designed to protect you? No, it's to protect the system that we live under, where black people can be treated like they're treated, so poor people can be treated like they're treated, so some people can get rich like they're doing. That's what this police department and the military is all for. It's not to protect you and your interest. It's not even there to serve God. It's to serve the system for which you are allowed to exist. Now, take your hands off these people's shoulders, and don't you slap them. I know you're upset with them, but don't you slap them. Give them another chance. Give them another chance. My reason for saying this to you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're expecting anything out of life to be better than what it has been right now, you're going to have to change, and you're going to have some empathy. You're going to have some compassion and some affinity for others. And other than that, you just up the creek. Now, can I count on what I have just said to you to have any effect positive? What you think? Until next time, Eddie Marcus. Goodbye.